G'day guys, welcome to another edition of This Week in Footy. I'm John Donohoe, he's Peter Tseros, and another action-packed week of NAB Challenge Footy. It's almost over, Pete. We're getting to the real stuff now, so I'm very excited.
We're there. We're almost there.
We're almost there. We got I think I saw something the other day. I think we're 30 days away or less from round one coming upon us. So it's very exciting. Now it was more games, more exciting footy on the weekend, and it all kicked off on Thursday night at Simonds Stadium between Geelong and Adelaide. Good game. It finished 87-68 with one super goal kicked by the Cats. Mitch Clark kicked 6 goals.
Absolutely on fire. I saw somewhere in the article somewhere during the week that he could potentially be that player that keeps Geelong up there. He's
Correct.
He's that player that, you know how they look like they're going to kind of slip down. We've been saying it for years that they're going to just slip from the top spot
They never
down
do.
to the bottom, and they haven't done it yet.
They never do.
Topping up with Mitch Clark, Vardy's coming back.
Reece Stanley.
Hopefully, I know Menzel's injured himself. I think he's done his hamstring.
Poor bloke.
Again, that's only going to be for the first few games of the season. He's going to be back, hopefully, to his 2011 form when he kicked 39 goals and probably should have been in that grand final side in 2011 as well.
Absolutely. Now, Jimmy Bartell had a blinder. He had 26 disposals. Mitch Duncan had 25. The best for Adelaide was Cam Ellis-Yolman. Good to see a young fella getting a few. He had 23. And Brad Crouch, he's going to be a star. He had 23 disposals also. Now, we'll move on to Essendon GWS. I believe we both tipped Essendon to win this one, but full credit to GWS. They come out. They've got a pretty strong side at the moment, so they got the job done. 97-52 in this one.
I think that's a GWS, to be honest.
I
did say that GWS, they're that sort of team that they've improved a lot, and they're going to be dangerous this year. They're not going to be that easy win, rollover side, and they weren't in the first half of last year as well. So beware of GWS. They're going to be right in the hunt this year. Maybe not top 8, but they're not going to be out of games either.
Absolutely not.
Essendon, it's hard to see what they've done this year so far. Top up players, you don't really know what they're going to bring out come round one. I still think they're a genuine chance of finals though. They've made finals the last 2 years, technically made the 8 the last 2 years. So they're going to be a good side as well this year.
I disagree that they're going to make finals, but the coaches have come out.
They're going to be in the hunt. They're going to be in the hunt.
The coaches have come out this week and said that success is just around the corner for the Bombers. So they'll need to get past all this Asada stuff and focus on footy. But look, it's a talented list, and who knows? But I think they might be might struggle to make the finals this year.
Getting some AFL players on the track as well instead of VFL
absolutely
might boost their chances as well.
Let's go through a few stats. Heath Shaw, he had 24 disposals, good outing for the experienced player. Lockie Dalgleish, a young player for the Bombers, he had 22 disposals, and Adam Treloar, who's about to sign or has signed a new contract with the club. He had a blinder. He's going to be a star. He had 22 disposals. Toby Green, 21. So they're all picking up where they left off, these youngsters from GWS, and they could have a really good year this year. Expect them to finish, not near the 8, but, maybe go up to a spot or 2 from where they finished last year, which was third last.
I reckon Toby Green's going to be the first 300 gamer at GWS. Absolutely blinder last season. I think there was one game against Collingwood where he was easily GWS's best on ground.
James Gwilt in his third game for Essendon had 20 disposals off the half back line as well. So good effort from the former St Kilda player.
Yeah, let a good player slip. The Saints let a very good player slip. Very good player slip.
That's all right, mate. You've got to rebuild at some point, and he wasn't
maybe
part
getting
of
rid
plans.
of the ordinary players instead of the good players. Just throwing it out there.
Suggestions. Move on. Melbourne and Western Bulldogs. This was a cracker. 7 points was the margin to Melbourne in this one. Really good game. Dom Tyson, he's a star. He's going to be a really good player. He had 27 disposals. Haritia Lumumba in his third game for his new club. He had 26. Christian Salem, I've got big raps on this kid. 24 disposals, and Jimmy Tumpa's finally showing a little bit. He had 24 disposals as well. The best for the Dogs. I've got to go a long way down here to see the best possession getter for the Dogs. Matty Boyd at 21 disposals. So there's still a little bit of work there to do for the Dogs. But as we say every week, it's NAB Challenge, and you're just getting the kinks out at this time of the year, ready to go for round one.
Good point, but at the same time, as you said, they didn't have many higher ranking possession winners, which means they probably didn't have the best of games and they only lost by 7 points. So that is a positive for the Dogs.
Absolutely. Now, you'll be very excited about this result.
I am very excited.
Very excited about this result because last week I stood here and stood next to Pete and I said the Richmond were no chance, even in the NAB challenge, and I just thought Port were too strong.
You know
I'm here to apologise.
You know why we won?
Why'd you win? Because it's NAB challenge.
It wasn't a finals
Correct.
series. It wasn't a finals match.
And it wasn't at the Adelaide Oval.
It wasn't at the Adelaide Oval.
But you take a win nonetheless.
Also, I suppose it was a depleted Port Adelaide side as well. But Dustin Martin absolutely destroyed
28 disposals.
Killed it. Best on ground by far. And Lloyd.
Sam Lloyd, 4 goals.
Sam Lloyd. I'm loving this kid. I think
off the rookie list last year, obviously.
Exactly.
Yep.
He made his debut last year. Had an inconsistent sort of season, but really impressed with some of his games. I think he kicked 3 goals 3 times last year.
Yep.
And he kicked another few bags of 2s. He was always a consistent goal kicker. Obviously was in and out of the side, but young talent, gonna be a freak. Kicked 4 goals in the weekend.
Absolutely. Bashar Hooley had 26. Kane Mitchell for Port Adelaide had 26 as well. Jared Pollock as well with 26. So some good possession getters there. Mitch Grigg had a good game with 22 disposals as well. So good signs for Richmond. They've got a win on the board. Well done to them.
Yeah,
St Kilda have one as well. Sydney took on Freo.
St Kilda have one against the VFL side.
St Kilda took on Freo at Drummoyne Oval, and they got the points by 9 points. Really good effort. Geez, Josh Kennedy's a star. 33 disposals in a NAB challenge game. The ball on a string. Lockie Neal had 33 for Freo as well, and Luke Parker 26. So the Swans players just picking up where they left off at the end of last year.
That's right. They're going to be very dangerous, and they're going to be hurt from losing the grand final last year.
Respect.
That's the word.
Disrespect.
No disrespect to Hawthorn. They definitely deserved it
Yep.
last year, but Sydney are going to be hurting, and they're going to have a blinder of a season, hopefully. I'm hoping they don't get too many injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Kennedy, how's that guy not won a Brownlow yet? Let's be honest.
He's not far away, I'm sure.
He's been a freak since I think he's moved to Sydney.
Mm-hmm.
Absolute gun. Ball magnet.
Good to see Tommy Mitchell get a few possessions as well. He had 17 and kicked a goal, so really good there. And Dan Hannabury, 20 disposals as well. So the Swannies they're moving along pretty nicely. Usually don't play their big guns in NAB Challenge. Buddy Franklin played, but he didn't do all that much. I think he just kicked the 1 goal, so I think they're just keeping him on cotton wool for the regular season. So
you've got to give him a run. You've got to give all the players a run at some point. You don't want them to be rusty come round 1. You want them to be rusty in the NAB Challenge.
Absolutely. So the final game of the round, the game Pete labelled insignificant. He doesn't care. He hates both teams. So there is some people out there who care, so I've got to go through this. So if you don't want to comment on it, you don't have to. Collingwood lost to Carlton, which is probably a good result in the end, by 11 points.
What I loved was the fact that after losing to Carlton, Eddie Maguire comes out saying they could pinch everything this season. Logic, you usually have to win games in order to pinch everything during the season. But just putting it out there. You guys might do it from losing. Who knows? Maybe every team might drop out of the
Stop venting and
I just don't like Collingwood. I'm sorry.
It was the old firm from Carlton who got the job done. Carato with the 1 goal and 25 disposals. Chris Judd had 23 and Cade Simpson with 22. For Collingwood, you've got to go down. Levi Greenwood had a pretty good game. He was their leading ball winner with 17 and Scott Pendlebury with 16. So a bit to work on there for the Collingwood midfielders. And so 1 more week of NAB Challenge to go. And Pete, you're going to run us through the final week of NAB Challenge. We can get this all over and done with and then watch the Saints barrel into round 1 against GWS.
Well, we'll say, barrel's an interesting word for it. But anyway, St Kilda take on the Hawks. So your mob are getting
Etihad Stadium Thursday night. I might go down to that one.
Hawthorn could play their entire seconds list and still destroy you guys.
Momentum's a big thing going into round 1, Pete.
That's right, Hawthorn's going to have all of it. Melbourne take on the Bombers. Now, we don't know what they're going to throw out there, Melbourne. They've actually looked a little bit improved.
It's going to be an interesting game, this one.
It would be. Essendon, top-up players. You don't really know what they're going to throw out. This would be their 3rd AFL standard game for a lot of them as well. For a while, that is, and playing under the Essendon colours.
Although a lot of them have played AFL in the past, so it doesn't...
I did say under Essendon colours.
It's not foreign to them. I know, I realise that,
But as a team.
To them,
so that's going to be an interesting one. I think Melbourne might win that one, actually. I actually think...
I'm going to tip Essendon in that one. I'll tip Essendon.
Fair enough.
You didn't ask me to tip in the other one.
Oh, I think you'd think that's...
Tipping St Kilda.
Yeah, exactly. Given. Gold Coast take on the Lions.
The Q Clash.
That's going to be a good one. Brisbane, Brisbane and Gold Coast, they haven't had the best of seasons as of late. But
Seasons.
I
You
said
said seasons.
No, I didn't. Seasons as of late.
All right,
Seasons
go.
as of late. There's a few S's there, but it made sense. Anyway, Gold Coast take on the Lions. I think Gold Coast will win. I really want to see them make finals this year. I really want to see them make finals. Unless Richmond end up 9th and Gold Coast end up 8th, then I don't want to see them make finals. But at the same time, I think they have a genuine chance of making it this year, and they're going to be a good side. The Lions, they should be improved as well. So I think that's going to be a pretty neck and neck clash. Richmond take on North Melbourne. Don't really know what you're going to see there. Richmond, again, they can play all their players, make a decent effort. North Melbourne can play all their players, make a decent effort. Both can play no one. We don't know what they're going to throw out there.
Are you going to win?
I don't think so. Put it out there, I think North Melbourne will win. They look really good this NAB challenge so far.
For what it's worth.
And I think they'll be a top 4 contender easy.
The showdown. Who's winning? It's back at Adelaide Oval this week.
That's right. Port Adelaide take...
No, not Adelaide Oval. Footy Park, sorry.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Footy Park.
Port Adelaide take on Adelaide. I don't care whether it's NAB challenge or not. This is going to be a good game regardless of what happens.
There could be a huge crowd there.
It could actually be a decent crowd.
Yeah.
But as I said, not really sure what they're going to throw out. Can't see Port Adelaide losing 2 in a row.
That's my thinking exactly. I think they'll bounce back after last week's disappointment to a poor mob that they played. And they got beaten by a bad team last week. So
Port Adelaide should win. Collingwood take on the Dogs. Now last up, Eddie Maguire thinks they could pinch it all, so you'd think that they'd win this one. Hopefully, Levi Greenwood. Before I get your tip, Levi Greenwood has been an excellent replacement for
Really
Beams.
good player.
Really good player. Probably not at the same level as Beams, but again, they haven't lost too much there. I think he's going to be a very good player for the season.
And I think he'll work really well in there with Pendlebury as well, and Steele Sidebottom. So he's a great addition to that lineup. I think it's a tough one. I think Collingwood will bounce back though after last week's disappointment. What do you reckon?
Yep, I said Collingwood should win.
Cool. Well, that's all we got time for today. Thank you very much for tuning in. Keep subscribing, keep liking our Facebook page, and check out our website. Until next week, I'm John Donohoe. He's Peter Tseros. You're watching This Week in Footy. See you then.
Very well.